So any of you folks ever made a decision not to make a decision and knew later it was the wrong thing? You ever said no when you knew no wasn't the right answer? There was there's many different scenarios where this might be the case, right? Maybe it was you said no to a date in high school, and later you knew that you should have said yes. Maybe it's something in your adult life, saying no when you knew no wasn't the right answer. Maybe on a horse deal, maybe on a land deal, maybe on a tractor deal. I don't know what the thing is about us sometimes, but we go back and we make these regrets. But there's one decision. Please don't say no, because you know no ain't the right choice, right? And that's to say no to Jesus. And really, there's some logical reasons we do it. And the whole thing was based, I came across a scripture one day where the Apostle Paul was talking to his captors, and he had, did what Paul always does, right? So in Acts chapter 26, he said, King Agrippa, do you believe the prophets? In other words, do you believe what I've been saying to you? And Paul stopped. Maybe it was the king's body language. About 90% of what we say or what we communicate is never just with words. But something prompted Paul to say, never mind, you don't have to answer that question. King Agrippa, do you believe the prophets? Paul said, I know you do. Then King Agrippa said to Paul, do you think in such a short time you can persuade me to become a Christian? That's one of the saddest verses in Scripture. Never do we find anywhere in Scripture where he said yes. But he knew he should have said yes to Jesus. As I've looked back at my life, from Scripture and from my personal experiences, it boils down to three reasons why most of us said no when we knew no wasn't right. We should have said yes to Jesus. I should have said yes to Jesus way before I did, but I didn't. And there's three reasons, and I'm just going to take you through those three reasons over the next 3 weeks. But just think about it. You ever thought about one of the major reasons people say no when they know no ain't right? It's because of people. They're scared to death of other people's opinions. Now look, I get it. We love community, and we were born that way. I mean, Adam was lonely and he needed community, so God took care of that. But if you think about it, it's pretty dangerous when we let other people's opinions manipulate our choices that are going to deal with eternity. What happens to us on the other side of our last breath, it's pretty sad that sometimes we let people's opinions do that. But we do it all the time, right? When was the last time you peed on an electric fence or touched an electric fence, poked a bulldog? I remember the first time somebody dared me to poke Jim Fuller's Chihuahua, and it nearly consumed my entire arm. We just, we sometimes we're persuaded by other people's opinions. But here's the problem. There's two things. If you say no to Jesus because you're scared of what someone else thinks, maybe it would disappoint your friend group. Maybe it doesn't fit your family traditions. Maybe your family is very religious, but they're just not Jesus people, right? The problem with that is, number one, if you let people's opinions sway your choice to invite Christ into your life, it's like what we talked about last week. It's really going to mess with your ability to cope with life. Man, when Jesus comes into our life, he helps us. But number two, this is the saddest part. And a guy told me this after I got saved. I went and witnessed, I just wanted to talk to him. I know witness is a church word, but I just wanted to share my story with him. And when I got down to the part about me asking Jesus to clean up my messy life, and Jesus did that, my old buddy told me, he said, you realize that is the stupidest decision, because he said, you know how many friends have you don't have now because of that decision to follow Jesus? Jesus was starting to change a little bit about my people, places, and choices, And he said, I'm not willing to make that decision. I will not give my friends up for this Jesus stuff. What a sad day it was. See, the thing is, Paul said, reminds us all of this, after he got saved, he said, am I trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? There's going to come a day, as we've talked about, where there is going to be a bottom line. There is going to be that time when ultimately we're going to have to give an accounting. We will be held accountable for what we chose here on this earth, right? So the bottom line is this. Are you saying no when you know no ain't right to Jesus? And if you are, listen, friends, there's a number on the end of this video. We would love to have a conversation with you about that. You don't have to wait to call. You can do that right now. Admit your messiness. That's it. Ask Jesus to forgive you and change your life. Don't say no when you know no ain't the right answer. God bless.